almost replaced, I got to tell you.
Well, I'm sorry. I was right behind you.
Your fan club, right?
Those are my boys, yeah.
Your boy is taller. He could kick your ass.
He totally could. He totally could.
Hey, how are you, Joel? Right. Everybody's saying hello, and people I haven't even seen. I think it's the new location.
I don't know. I feel like we got stuffed in a corner here, but
well,
it's all good.
It's probably got something to do with you.
Yeah, I showered this morning, I promise.
Oh, okay. We've got, I think it's Needham's Marine is down here with a couple of tables. They're game sponsor of the night, and they've got a lot going on down there. So Jake Burry called me the other day and asked my permission. He said,
Nice.
Is it okay if we move your stuff? As though I'm going to say, no.
No. No.
I said, sure, that's no problem. You go right ahead. And he said, well, I knew you'd. Anyway, nice to be
Look
back
at you
here.
Getting easy to go along
right?
with.
Well, it depends who you ask. Speaking of getting along with, well, the Sarnia Sting having a hard time getting along with the Windsor Spitfires.
Yeah.
We're here tonight, game number 3, starting things off with 2 losses already. And looking back at the stats, we've played Windsor 10 times, and out of that 10, we've won 4. So it's possible.
It is.
I will say,
did you catch your away games? Like, did you watch?
Brief highlights was all I could do. But
no, I was watching.
And
you know what? Honestly, I would say don't count the Sting out yet.
No.
In any way, shape, or form, because the truth of the matter is that both games were good hockey games.
Yeah.
Like, they were close. There was never more than 1 goal a period kind of thing, and frankly, there was a lot of right things going on.
Okay.
Windsor's got a good team. Like, you just can't say anything against that.
No.
So for the Sting to come out and put up the kind of play that they did in those away games, there is every good chance we're going to take at least one of these games, if not 2.
Well, and this is why I brought up the fact that we played them 10 times and we beat them 4 times.
Yep.
So, okay, not 50-50, but, close there. Now, I do have to say, and, not to take away from the Sting, when we beat the Windsor, we won by, 1 goal.
Yep.
When we lost to them, it was by, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So there is that threat there. I mean, there's always the threat.
Sure.
But the advantage I think that Sarnia Sting has right now is we do know that they can play. We've talked a lot about seeing the young rookies step forward and really play well when we had a lot of guys off the ice there. Speaking of which, Nolan Burke off, right?
He's been off for a little bit, and we clearly miss him.
I don't think he'll be back, quite honestly.
No.
Unfortunately. So again, we look at the young players to step forward and show this team off a little bit more.
Yep.
And if anything, this young team preparing into next year at least gets to experience some playoff hockey, which is completely different than regular season.
It sure is, Dave. I mean, there's a different pace, a different urgency. You can't say, there's lots of season left.
We said that 35 games ago.
Sure. But every game counts now. Like, every game counts.
100%.
And if you win, the next game's got to count just as much, if not more. And if you're losing a ton. So you need to, because that's something you're going to have to overcome in order to take a series kind of thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my Sarnia Sting. I'm thinking it's going to be a real challenge because Windsor is playing that well. And when you've got guys like Will Cooley and D'Amico and some of these other guys, Maggio, I mean, they have a very talented, very seasoned, experienced team that, almost seems built for playoff hockey.
Right.
And we've seen that. But the Sting have given them still some real challenge.
Yeah.
Like they've had to play at the top of their game in order to accomplish what they have. And I think as long as the Sting sort of stay on that course, inevitably a game or two is going to fall our way. It just is.
Well, the opportunity is certainly there. That just means playoff. And playoff hockey, it's kind of like, I call it kind of like the football portion of, there's no room for error.
No.
Right? This is it.
No.
Do we want to take it to 7 games? Yeah, I mean, fans would like that probably.
Sure.
But the Sting would probably be happier getting it over sooner than later at the same time.
Absolutely.
Because they know what they're up against. But I know in any sport, a lot of times they say you want to play home because is home here tonight an advantage for the Sarnia Sting?
Well, I don't know because you know what? It's a great question, Dave. But I think we really have seen over the last little while the Sting seem to play better on the road.
Well,
now, whether or not the statistics support that or not, I'm going to say the Sting does typically play better on the road. So.
Well, that's kind of why I posed the question. Right?
I'm hoping.
If there's a one time you hope you're wrong.
Yes, now would be it.
Now's the time.
Time to pull it out. But I mean, we have arguably one of the best goalies in the league.
Ben Gaudreau. Let's do a whole hour show on that.
For sure, because he really has kept us in a number of games, and he's, I don't want to say single-handedly, but I mean. Certainly,
he's definitely come through to save this team many times.
Sure, he has.
Probably more often than should have been.
Yep.
It's kind of a double-edged sword. We say, like the goalies like 50 saves. It looks good on the stats.
Sure.
It's just not in one period.
No.
Right?
No, and fair enough.
Right?
Absolutely.
We have seen that. We've seen, even I'm getting tangled up here. We've even seen Coach Letang, right? Even come out and say drastically he should be pissed off at his team because they hung him out to dry. Now, I know he says that with some love in there, but at the same time, this isn't about love. This is about playing hockey. And, it's often been questioned about why our main guys or our OAs, whatever, haven't stepped up when they should have been stepping forward.
Yep. Well, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting now going forward, regardless of what happens in the season.
Yeah.
The Sting have typically not played strong defensive hockey. Our defenders, our defensemen seem to lack a little something, that puts a huge amount of pressure on our goaltending. And thank goodness we've got goaltenders that step up. It'll be interesting to see as we move forward, with Mike Haley, a former Sting player, as our defensive coach.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see what he brings, whether or not he brings a new, fresh perspective and maybe, has a little better vantage point, having been on that ice and been in that circumstance. And see what he brings.
Well, we saw a couple of times where the defense tried to change things. What do they call it? Riverboat hockey, right?
Yep.
And we tried that a couple of times. Didn't work out.
No.
Especially
not so much.
the night. Was it Saginaw, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of a riverboat hockey team. We tried it against them. I think maybe we tried that against. They play that kind of hockey all the time.
Yeah, they do.
So I think maybe we tried it. Hindsight, of course. That we
Yep.
tried it against the wrong team.
For sure. But I mean, in that case, we've got, I mean, not to take anything away, Ryan Mast has been, pretty good as a blue liner now.
Yeah.
At least defensively in the forward zone. He's very good at, stretching and taking the puck end to end.
Yeah.
But that's not the kind of defense that we want to have.
Well, we can't just rely on the one
place.
guy.
And we can't just rely. And then Chandler Romeo, has had his struggles staying out of the penalty box. And
I'm sorry, what?
He's struggled to keep out of the box.
Let's talk about that for just a moment, because
sure.
Chandler Romeo, big guy for this team.
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody needs a Chandler Romeo or a Hatcher or whatever. Right?
Oh, Kelton Hatcher. Yeah, he was one of my heroes when it came to that.
I know,
that's for
but
sure.
At the same time, you gotta know when to hold him. You gotta know when to fold
sure,
him, right?
Absolutely,
and that's
right.
That's still to be learned, I think.
And I think we'll see what happens, but I think if he can keep his cool and find ways of getting under Windsor's skin in the defensive end without losing his own mind, right. That'll go a long way in keeping our goaltenders happy and a little less stressed.
Let's see some more from Ty Voigt out there as well. We started
to
see a little bit near the end.
Well, and that was the other thing too. Dave, I think the away games that we looked at, that just leading up to this, really it's been a matter of not getting enough shots on goal. I mean, we had a couple of great opportunities on.
We've been very low on the shot
on the
clock.
Power play, and you can't put out a power play a minute and a half or a minute 3/4 in their end and get off one shot.
Right.
And we have had power plays where they've gotten off no shots, and that's a problem. We have to be putting pucks on the net.
Why has it always been a problem for this team, the power plays?
Well,
it doesn't matter what team.
It just, it seems to me, and this may be another, young guy thing, because you can't just wait for that perfect opportunity where it's going to be that highlight reel moment.
Right.
If you spend all your time waiting on that highlight reel moment.
Well, let's talk about putting the pressure on. We're
sure.
Find the pressure points of these teams. And when we have done that,
Yeah. No, you're absolutely
We're very capable of it. What are we afraid of? Is it because we're young and we lack the confidence? Are we lacking some size against some bigger teams? Probably a combination of both.
I think I think there's a lot of factors in there for sure. But I mean, you're right. It absolutely is going to come down to finding the places where we can put some pressure on and pushing the button
for sure,
and making that work to our advantage.
All right. Well, we see the starting lineup coming out here. Ben Gaudreau, obviously starting in between the pipes tonight. We'll be back first period intermission. Jay's going to join me, but I got a friend, Nick Moss, has been driving down just beyond London area, coming down to check out the Sarnia Sting, and he's going to come on and join for a couple of minutes here.
Are you telling me there's somebody gunning for my job? I don't know how to step it up anymore, Dave.
Well, I don't know, but the fact that you got recognized in the parking lot.
I totally did today. I totally did.
But you notice how they said you're with that David Burrows guy.
Well, okay, great. They knew your name. I'm just that guy. I'll take it.
Very cool. It's only taken 6 years. Right? All right, your Sarnia staying out on the ice. We'll see what happens after first period. We will be back. We will let Jay come back too, and hopefully he's smiling. So watch along and share your comments down below so that we can respond to them. Until next time, I'm David Burrows and my friend Jay Peckham.
Go Sting, go!